So you go look at the movie Barbie and the movie Oppenheimer, 7/21. Let me make sure when that came out. Hang on just a quick second. Yeah, never mind. I want to look at the celebrities. So Anne Hathaway was in a movie with Donnie Darko called Love and Other Drugs, Jake Gyllenhaal. She was also the female love interest in The Dark Knight Rises. So, love interest with both Antichrist characters, or two of the three. Jake Gyllenhaal, Christian Bale. I don't think she's done anything with Daniel Craig. Anne Hathaway is 86 days old on the 86ing day, 88 days old on the rising day, 15,286, 15,288. Jake Gyllenhaal, murder on the murder day, 15,979. 79 is murder. Christian Bale has the 184s and the 96. I've told you about the number 96. I'm not going to get into it now. But Heath Ledger is amazing in that he's 166. Remember the book of Revelation, 166. I'm sorry, it's the 66th book of the Bible, and Trump Tower is the 66th penthouse. It's called the 66th floor penthouse. Yet it's only 58 stories because 66 is representative of the book of Revelations, the final book of the Bible, 66 books in the Bible. But Heath Ledger on the rising day is 16606. Drop to zero, of course, 1666. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And I'm pretty sure I already told y'all about Eva Green being 45. Yeah, I did. So what I wanted to get into also now was the movie Tenet had a premiere, which Tenet's all about going backwards and forwards, reversing. If you've ever seen the movie. Only the AI could write a movie like that, and it did, as it writes most all of these movies. It is 148 being 86th. 148 is Donald J. Trump and Simple Gematria. It's 1486, 148 being 86, but on the rising day. Because remember, Tenet is about reversal or reversing. Their wide release isn't so spectacular. 1478. But if you go to the 22nd, which is 2 days after, and in that movie, it was all about reversal. So really 2 days before, you do have your 1480, 148. That's a little convoluted, so we'll just forget we even talked about that last one. So Donnie Darko at Sundance, 1/19/2001, 86, 43 days on the 86ing day. 8645 on the rising day. 45, of course, is one of his numbers. 207 begins the hours. Now, if you look at Donnie Darko wide release on 10/26/2001, it's 8363. 83 is murder and reverse reduction. Or reverse ordinal, I think. One of them. And there's one other movie I would like to take a look at, or one other just popped in my head. And so hang on a second, see if I can remember it. I lost it. Oh, another one popped in my head while I was thinking. Remember when Trump took the escalator descent on Tuesday, June 16th? And I've always told y'all that's him going down to hell or what have you, his descent. as Jesus also visited the angels. Well, it's down in Sheol, hell is the grave. It's not where any fire is at. And that I know of, but the lake of fire is where the fire is at, and death and the grave are thrown into the lake of fire as a cleansing process. Hell is not eternal torment for humans. So when you look at his descent, it was the day he announced that he was going to run for president. So he went down the escalator. That was his descent. That was on Tuesday, June 16th, 2015. It is absolute murder code 338. 38 is death and simple gematria. It's 38 in reverse reduction. 483 in the weeks. 83 again is murder. We keep forgetting that. Keep taking that down. So your murder is 83 in reverse ordinal. It's 34 in reduction. 38 in reverse reduction. Death is 38 in simple gematria or ordinal. But if you include both dates with his descent to the day he dies, it's 3. It's 33 code, but it's also 3, 38, 3. So it's a 38 fused with 83. Both are murder. 9 years, 3 months, 3 days when you include both dates. So those are really, really, really big deals. All right, so we know that Donald Trump comes to 138, and October 2nd comes to 138. When you spell it out, that's why Donnie Darko is all about that October 2nd. And it's this year's Ring of Fire eclipse. On October 2nd, 2020, Trump said he had the illness, didn't he? And it transfer portaled over to the total solar eclipse, 465 days, if I'm not mistaken. The total solar on, that's what I wanted to show y'all. Also with Spurrier. This will blow your mind. But anyway, when Trump said he had the illness, which transfer portaled to and the illness was called the outer ring of a total solar. And through our transfer portal, which was January 2nd, 2022, it transfer portaled back 465 days, I believe it was, to that total solar. Well, that was the day he said he had the illness. October 2nd, 2020. He and Melania both had it. When you run that to the 80-16 day, it's 144 in 7 days. It's also 3 years, 11 months, 16 days. That's 311 fused with your backwards upside down 9/11. If you include both dates from when he said he had the illness, it's 3 years, 11 months, 17 days for Zechariah 11:17. It's 144 and 8 days, 1,448 days. We know 48 is Donald Trump. And I believe full reduction. No, reverse ordinal. Can't remember what I'm. That's insane. So you go to Steve Spurrier, who is 1945. This will blow your mind. Four, 20. Is he going to take over the Gators coach and be the 8th that's of the 7, as Florida represents Devil's Advocate University? When you run Spurrier to the rising day, where he will be the 8th of the 7, Steve Spurrier, not only 4,144 weeks for the church, because the book of Revelation will be open in real time, which is all about the church. He's 79 years, which is murder code for the murder or the rising day, doesn't matter. But Look at the days, 29,008. And that was what James Bond was. He was 008. The 8th is of the 7 and No Time to Die. They never said his number, but they made him a 00. In 007, the African-American lady who was 007 said, "What's his number?" She asked twice. They never said, because they didn't want to make it too obvious that he's 008, the 8th king of Mystery Babylon. That's Revelation 17, 8 through 12, where it talks about there's 7 kings. There's only 7 kings of Mystery Babylon through antiquity. 5 were fallen, not sheep, but 2 were. And it began with Spurrier, who represents Miami, born in Miami, the Storm, raised in Tennessee, the Orange Tea, and then he's the reason Florida started winning in their fake football scripted world at Devil's Advocate University. And he began, and now we're at the 7th coach who's about to be fired. 5 are fallen. This coach will be one of the 5 fired fallen. Urban was not fallen. Darius the Mede was not fallen. Nebuchadnezzar was not fallen. Spurrier was not fallen. They were champions, or they were sheep. Remember, Darius the Mede and Nebuchadnezzar both loved Daniel and praised his God after they saw the miracles. Spurrier is 008 days on the rising day, 29,008 days. That's impossible. His initials are SOS, which we know what that stands for. And it will be just that across the earth, if we're correct, by September 20th and the 21st and so on. So 4,144 weeks, Spurrier would be, but 29,008. 79 in the years for murder. 79 begins the percent of a common year. 7,947.40% of a common year. We're looking for Spurrier to be named the interim coach at Florida after the Texas A&M game, which will be played on the 14th. So when he's named that coach on the 18th, more than likely, or on the 16th, whenever, 17th, that is your tipping point for the Trump event. We now have playlists on all the platforms, no matter which ones you're watching it on. I've now completed the prep, completed everything now, finally. Was there one other thing? Hang on. So Donnie Darko, the director's cut, you've got 008 in the hours on the 86ing day. But let's go to the rising day for Donnie Darko director's cut. You've got 20 years, 3 months, 22 days. That's 322 code. You got 243 months, 322 code. So you got the year 2024 fused with 322 when you do months and days. But 20 years, 3 months, 22 days, 322 code on the rising day when it's Darko's director's cut. And so we know he's Batman. We know he's Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick release date to the rising day. Perfect. 121 weeks. It's perfect. 121 is Antichrist Simple Gematria. Event 201 was October 18th, 2019. When you run it to the 86ing day, it's 1,079, 7 days. 79 is Murder in Simple Gematria. If you run it to the rising day, of course, the 79 is still there, 1799. Lastly, Batman came out on March 4th. Remember Marching Forth, 2022? It's a perfect 13.3 weeks for Revelation 13.3. The first time Deadly Wound is mentioned, but it's followed by But Did Live. He rises on 9/20. When you run it to 9/20, the Rising Day, the movie Batman that just came out a few years ago, on the Rising Day, it's a perfect 13.3 weeks. 1, 3, 3 weeks. Perfect. I really do think we have our date. And what do you know? It's 11/17, yo. All right, love you.